Yo guys, and welcome to Radio ViraL. Today I have one of the legend of the game. My man, JRB, is joining the podcast. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure, Johan. Thanks for inviting me.
Welcome, Clarisse.
Thank you.
Clarisse,
Hi, guys.
Clarisse is the newbie touch in poker. She doesn't really play poker, but that's good because we want someone that is fresh, doesn't know the game, and sometimes when we go too complicated, Clarisse is there to come back to reality because we have another world. We are in another world, right, JRB? Poker is like some kind of metaverse.
It's a lot of times if you try and explain certain things, certain bets, certain amounts of money, people outside there, this can't be real. This guy. I honestly believe that probably 25-30% of people that ever watch us on TV think that this is all fake money, yeah.
And it's not.
Yeah,
It's really complicated to understand this world when you're out of it. It's really not easy.
Yeah, and also we use words that are completely random. Like, I mean, if you don't know those words, you can't even understand what we are talking about.
Oh,
right?
I know.
Yeah.
I know personally. I've left some of those shows personally completely devastated with almost tears in my eyes. On TV you're trying to hold a smile. You get hit 2 out and you're like, as soon as you're offset, you take the microphone. And yes.
And we can tell it's 7 p.m. where we register and you are fresh from the bed because that's a poker life, right?
That's correct.
You played all night.
Played all night, and the buffet here is so amazing.
It's very good.
It's
And we are in Merit, by the way.
I'm-
Thank you, Merit,
Yes.
to organize this podcast.
Yes,
The team is here. We are in the wonderful Merit in Cyprus. This is the best place to play poker in Europe. There is no better place. I come here since 2012. It's been 13 years that I'm coming to Merit. There was only Crystal at the beginning, this
Yes.
first hotel. They were building the Royal. I was coming there. It was already Songul that was managing the team. Big up to Songul that I love and always welcome me with just the warmest welcome. And we play here in the same place where we sleep, so it's just convenient, right?
Yeah. Well, I was telling you about the buffet here. Like, first of
Yeah.
all, I'm a guy who never does buffets. I've been spoiled with Bellagio and Wynn Buffet and Four Seasons, and it's like no buffet is ever decent. And I've been coming here months and months, never touched the buffet because that's not my thing. And I've had very wealthy friends of mine tell me, you have to try this. You have to try this. And I'm like, finally, I went down and tried it the other day. And I was like, wow. And then, you start going over. Seriously, top notch buffet here. But you're talking about Merit. My first time here was, I think, about 10 or 12 years ago. They did some big event with Full Tilt, with some of the guys from Full Tilt. They did a WPT event here. Back then, so I was here for their first.
I didn't know you came here that early, actually.
Yeah, I did their first WPT event.
Because you come here all the way from America, so I mean it was quite long trip.
Yeah, well, we used to. There was I think we came here 2 or 3 years in a row. It was almost like a European tour. You would go for the World Series of Poker Europe, and then go to Barcelona, and the guys all just kind of, it was one trip after another. Back then, the tournament organizers tried to coordinate it so they weren't running into each other. Now it looks like they want to go at the same time with each other.
There is competition now.
Yeah. But, sometimes competition is great. Sometimes it's a little bit inconvenient, but overall, competition helps the market, helps us as poker players.
This week we came for Onyx. Onyx, our friend Rob, created this brand maybe a couple years ago. Is it?
It might be a few years now, but
Yeah.
but yeah, now it's really popping.
It's like the high stakes room of Merit, Onyx Club. We come here every 2 months to play high stakes cash game. Jean-Robert has his game there. I played a lot of time. Rob played with us yesterday on stream. The game was quite big. We played 50k buy-in. We had some superstar like Patrik Antonius that will be here on this chair in a moment. I just played paddle with him, right? He's just showering and coming. Patrik Antonius played. Some real names comes to Merit nowadays and come play with us. Hundreds of thousands in play. How Jean-Robert, after 20 years, because 20, 30 years in the game?
Yeah, I started around 98.
98.
Yeah, so
like almost
more.
30 years now.
Yeah.
You how do you handle those swings? Because we play so big sometimes and in a row, right? Like sometimes, like
I'm
just
not the right person to ask.
yeah.
I don't really handle
no, you
swings.
are the right actually. You are the right person because you.
I swing and then go broke.
Yeah, you swing. That's why I
don't
ask
see
you.
me, and then you don't see me for
How
months.
you do that? How you handle that?
That's not no. You were talking about Onyx. This is actually the first Onyx. I think you're going to see a lot of Onyx rooms popping up here in the future. You know, the brand is great in that it's like a high-end poker level with the high-end service that guys like Rob, yourself, and me are accustomed to. And you know, Merritt does an amazing job here. But it's like a high-end. It's like a poker room within a casino, like a casino within a casino, but like the high-end, like the cream of the crop. So I think don't be surprised if you see, you know, other casinos wanting to have an Onyx room in there because you know, they do it right. They're definitely doing it right here.
Yeah, it's it started with the Onyx sales started with the 100K buy-in. This story makes me laugh so much. You were in your room, you were just like chilling, not planning to play 100K high roller. It's not your style. It's like many super pros and
exactly.
And like, why should you play, right?
There's zero chance that I would ever jump into a 100K tournament. I remember years ago, I played the $1 million one drop. Whatever it was, 8 or 10 years ago.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
I forgot that moment.
I put up $250,000 of my own money, and I raised the rest of it. And I just remember just thinking, wow, you know what? I don't think I'll ever play a big buy-in event. First of all, I didn't have that much fun because I just never won a hand and just went out. So maybe if I had had a little more fun, I would have been more interested. But I was like, man, that's just a lot of money to just like, you know, say goodbye to. And I was like, at that time, I was like, I'll never do
pay
it.
$1 million.
Yeah. So to enter in the game, you had to buy
for $1 million. Yeah.
You have to eat $1 million. $1 million to buy in. And a lot of people played. I mean,
it was 50 people or something the first time?
No, I think it was more. No, I feel like
first place I think was 15 or 18 million.
Okay, yes.
Something like that.
Yes.
That's huge.
Guy on the bubble get eliminated with aces against aces, right?
That's
something insane, like the one of the most insane
hands. I remember Carry Cats won a hand aces against aces. Yeah.
That's the end on YouTube. Like the guy go all in. There is like what's the min cash? Maybe 1.5, 2 million.
Oh, that's so big.
The guy get eliminated with pocket aces, the best hand in poker, against pocket aces. One of the two made the flush basically, and that's so rare.
So I had sworn off big buy-ins after that, and you know, and then and especially where it's like a bunch of super pros, you know. Actually, to be honest with you, even though there were super pros in the field, it wasn't like I was getting terrorized. I mean, the guys you still playing poker. You still at a hand. You bet a flop. You have to decide whether the guy's bluffing or not.
Yeah.
And you know that's the thing with live poker. And I know Johan's not a fan of online, but one thing with live poker is there's still.
I like CoinPoker though.
Yes, absolutely. I know. Yeah, of course. But I'm just saying.
I do play on Coin.
I know you're one of the guys that prefers live poker, and I also prefer live poker, and I prefer it because there's still get a read for somebody. You know, a live tell. You know, yesterday I had a read on a guy that was something I didn't have enough to call him with. I guess I did, but I just like vibed it. His hand made perfect sense. He bet every street was fine, and I'm like, just something feels funny. My BS detector was up, and I was like, and I'm like, I'm about to pass on this, and of course he shows me the bluff. It's like sometimes you sense it. You know, I think I was just so tired that I didn't pull the trigger. You got to pull the trigger. You know, if you think somebody's full of it, pull the trigger. That's what I did with Rob in this tournament. We were gonna. So yes.
You ended up playing heads up against Rob. The story. Yeah, you are in your room. You
I'm watching Netflix.
Yeah, what?
Chilling in the room. I get a call from one of Rob's top guys saying, "Hey, JRB, Rob got stuck in Istanbul. His flight's delayed, and as an apology to the guys, he wants to put in, basically put in a big fish." In a tournament, that's like, I'm sorry I'm not there, guys. I'll be there later, but here you got JRB for now. And so I'm like, you get an opportunity to play. Absolutely, I'm like, I'll be right there. Yeah, I actually jumped into the tournament 6 or 7 hours late, and ended up being, wow, that was a lot of fun. And one of the crazy things that happened is I was almost 2-1 chip lead going into the final table, and ended up playing a crazy hand where the other guy's hand just made no sense, and I ended up calling his river raise. You know, I wish I hadn't, but I went from number 1 in chips by double to like 4th or 5th biggest stack before we even hit the money. We were 9-handed when we started the final table. Only 8 made the money, and I was like, dude, are you really going to do this again? Completely implode, and you know, somehow I just kind of just made it one place. I remember thinking I'm gonna be so happy if I could make 5th or 4th place, and then you make it to 3rd, you make it to 2nd, and then once I'm heads up with Rob, I mean, how crazy is that?
Yeah.
The guy who owns the tournament, you know, is 1 and 2 with me, and that was fun because he was like, "This is going to be so embarrassing if I lose to you."
Yeah,
He did.
I saw this too.
He had a 2-1 chip lead on me, and he was like, and I'm like, you probably don't want to be saying that because you're just going to, you know, and heads up, anything can happen heads up.
You made a couple of good calls against him.
I made a
With
couple.
middle pair, he put you at the test.
Yeah.
He made you play the
Yeah.
tournament live twice.
Yes.
Twice
I
you
called
called middle pair. Twice you were right. He was bluffing.
You know,
You felt like Rob would just like try to bluff you more than anyone else.
well, he and I have a lot of
History.
experience, a lot of history.
You played a lot
and,
together.
you know, to be fair, you know, I do remember 8 years ago we're in Jeju and we're playing. It was down to 2 or 3 of us, and he and I ended up playing an enormous hand, and he went all in. And I remember because I'm not somebody who tanks very long, and I tanked for 13 minutes before I folded 2 kings on this board. And his hand just made no sense, but I didn't pull, you know, because it was just so much money. And I think he kind of like, I think he knew that that's way too much money for him to call. So I mean, the joy he had when I showed that fold of kings. Why would you fold 2 kings right there? I mean, what in the world? What could you put me on? And I mean, like almost doing the Rob dance. So wow. So I have that painful memory, you know, that he's quite capable of pulling a big trigger, you know, and maybe now it came to bite him in the ass. I don't know.
You called twice. You were right twice. You double up on him. You end up winning the tournament for 1.5 million. That was earlier this week. GG. Your biggest score after 25 years in the game, but you don't play tournaments much.
Biggest
you play
score,
cash game.
And honestly, when the announcer told me this is your biggest cash, I was like, wow, that was news to me. I didn't even realize that
because you won more than $1 million.
Yes, I won $1.5 million, but I mean, my biggest cash was probably around 700 in the past or something like that. But it was attached to a bracelet,
Okay.
and
You
so
won a
for
bracelet.
me, that was like the biggest event ever. You know, doing a bracelet, and that was in the 6 max, which is like kind of a coveted event to try and win, and. Yeah, so that was like such an event, and I'm like, did I really just have my biggest cash ever? This is great.
It's crazy.
Bro, in final table, when you said you were in the final table on live stream on the Onyx live channels on YouTube, you were saying, someone asked me in the chat what I would do with the money if I win the tournament. So now you guys are 5 left. And you are like not even the biggest stack, right? You are like making a joke as like, if you win the tournament, what I'm gonna do with the money? You said, I'm gonna pay back my debts.
I'm gonna pay. No, I said.
No.
I said. They asked. They said, JRB, if you win all this money, what are you gonna do with the money? I said, well, first I'm gonna pay back some debt, and then they followed up and said, well, what are you gonna do with the rest? Well, those guys are just gonna have to frickin' wait. I mean, what are we doing?
And since, then your phone keep ringing, and you get messages every day for collection. That's what you're telling me, right? Collection text. Congratulations, JRB. And then, by the way, the 20K, ship it. Ship it. Okay, make it 18.
Yes.
Crazy life, bro. Yeah, so congratulations for that. And I guess, I hope many more to come. You have like a bracelet.
You know, it's interesting because like, you know, you have these young guys come in with the young minds and the GTO and all this other stuff, and just to be able to feel like I can still compete with, you know, that's like, it's refreshing. You're still playing poker, you know, at the end of the day, it's still 2 cards. You still, you know, you
get to make reads. When the guy bluff, if you spot him bluffing, you just hero call and
Your hand needs to hold.
I mean,
sometimes you get lucky, and it's still percentages. A lot of times the flips, or maybe you get it in at 35% equity, and it works out. And sometimes it doesn't. And there's a lot of maneuvering. The big stack, that was a fun part of this tournament. Is like when I had that big stack to be able to like bully the table a little bit, and you got all these superstars around you, and you're bullying them. It's pretty fun.
And structures are honestly great in Onyx. The structure of the tournament with the levels, 50 minutes or 1 hour, the blinds increase quite slow. My final table, 'cause I had also quite a success in this trip with the second place in the 50K Grand Slam.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm very happy about it. My final table was 50 blind average. So 50 big blind average, it's almost like a cash game because people pre-flop min raise. So only raise 2 blinds. So it's like in cash game we raise maybe 4 or 5 blinds. So it becomes like 50 blind in a tournament becomes like a cash game stack, right? So I felt at home, right? Because obviously what I do when I'm here, it's like cash game, and what I was doing in Vegas back then, it was cash game mainly, a bit of World Series because obviously I want a bracelet for my community and everything, and I got it. But my thing is like playing live cash game. So I just felt like it was a live cash game during the final table, just with tournament guys and some cash game guys. I had Sergio at my table. I had Enz at my table. So I felt a bit like
you're
in a
home?
cash game. Yeah, I was in comfort zone actually.
Yeah.
Because the structure is that deep that it's not like only all-in pre-flop and stuff, because obviously maneuver, like you say, and I enjoyed it. I mean...
when you talk about that, I'm just remembering December. So Johan and I were both in Bahamas.
Yeah.
And Rob has a pop-up Onyx room actually inside the casino.
The Atlantis.
We're at the Atlantis. So we have the pop-up Onyx room, and Johan and I are playing every day, and both of us are just getting tortured every single day, going off for the max. All right, guys, good night, call it a night. Yeah. And he's getting grumpy, I'm getting grumpy. We're losing every single day.
I was super grumpy that trip. I couldn't handle any swing anymore.
We both play the 25K, and somehow we both get super deep in the 25K. Actually, to be honest with you, I didn't. You actually lasted longer than I did.
Almost same. We were seeing each other. You were on this feature table. I was on the floor.
I'm telling you, the last time I saw Johan in the Onyx room, in the pop-up Onyx over there in Bahamas, he just lost 70,000, and he just like almost steamed out. Johan's very, very social and fun and friendly, but you could tell he was like at his last. And then he goes and decides to go buy in the last 10K event over
25,
there. 25. It was 25K.
Yeah, 25. Yeah.
Wow. Well, then that's why it paid so well.
He was not supposed to play this game, right?
No. I get eliminated from the same tournament as him. So the main event with 10 million first place, we got eliminated top 100, I guess.
Right.
Top 100, obviously super frustrated because it's min cash or whatever. Like I got 5 buy-ins for that, and then I see I check the flights, but I see my flight. I cannot get a flight on the same day anymore because it's now 4 p.m. And there is no flight for me to go back that day. So I need to see what I can do, and I see 5 minutes left to register to that turbo event. That was supposed to be a 3 days event, so there is no way I was playing it.
It was a 25K and a turbo.
It became they changed it.
Oh, wow.
They put it as a single day, and it was 5 minutes left to register with 10 blind.
What is turbo?
So turbo means you need to play it. The blinds increase very fast, and basically it's gonna finish in 1 day or maximum 2. But that's 5 minutes left to register. So I say why not? It's 10 blind, and I just register and end up winning it.
What a story, because during Bahamas you were completely buried with all buy-ins.
Yeah, I was losing $1 million. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! And
from my money, obviously.
And you get out. Yeah. And you get out.
I get out with 1.5. So
this is unbelievable.
Yeah, those trips doesn't happen, right? It's just only in the movies. I couldn't make it back at no point. I was like thinking this is over, this trip is over, and that's it. And I lost that $1 million, and that's it. But no. Somehow I came back, plus 500K on the trip. I'm like, okay, good end of the year. I end up in Sochi with the guys. They were very happy to get me right after that.
Sure.
Completely jet lagged. I played with them. Obviously, I ended up being the biggest loser in the game, but thanks God the game was just 51. We squid 500.
Good.
But they enjoy. Honestly, it was a fun trip after in Sochi. We had fun. Almost stayed there for New Year.
Did you do it Banya in Sochi?
Yeah, we did.
That was
with
the first
Alexi and the
place
guys.
I ever did. First place I ever did the Banya, and I
Yeah.
love it. I swear by it. You
was
told me
amazing.
there's a good Banya in Dubai. We're gonna have to go sometime.
Yeah, we need to go together. We go to Russian karaoke, but we need to go also to Banya.
You know, Banya is one of the cool things that, for me, is going on the road as a poker player. You know, things like that you discover. I think most people will never get to experience a Banya.
Yeah.
Most people.
Yeah,
will
we're gonna
never.
explain what is a Banya, by the way.
Yes.
You want to explain?
Well, it's just.
Oh, it's just my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. So it's basically a sauna, but let's say Russian Slavic tradition, because like it's done also in Ukraine, in Moldova, in different ex-USSR country. It's basically a sauna that is dry and a bit wet. It's not only dry. It's not like the Finnish sauna. It's dry, but it's wet. It's like old technique that is like it looks like an oven where they put the steam and then it goes like full steam. And it's quite hot inside, and apparently not hot enough because they sent a guy with a tree branch, like tree branches.
Yeah, with those branches, and they're beating on
and
you.
they're beating you with it.
Oh man, and you're like, what? And then you're like, oh, this is good.
It just brings full heat on your body, and the goal is to heat your body from the inside also, and not only from the outside. So basically, your body is very well heated during 10 minutes. They do that on you, and then you jump in the cold plunge. So in those countries, what they do is they jump directly in the lake. They sometimes dig a hole in the lake. So and then you just go in the cold, very very cold water, or they jump in the snow naked, or they just jump in a cold plunge, which is the modern way of doing the banyas. For example, in Dubai, you have like a cold plunge that can be 8 degrees or 4 degrees Celsius. I don't know in Fahrenheit though.
I saw you jump
Can you
into
do
something even lower than that.
3
Really.
in
Oh, my
Moscow. Yeah,
goodness.
3 degrees.
What are you doing? Why?
Bro, it's insane. Because that was the case. And the guys.
Did you lose a bet or something? I mean, why would you put yourself through that?
I love it. I feel like out of
love
comfort
it.
zone. I love
You
it, bro.
First guy to ever stake me in poker was actually Tom Dwan.
No way.
Yeah. Yep.
He felt
20
potential in you?
22-year-old Tom Dwan. I don't think that was that so much. No, I had special access in that I was basically in charge of running the high stakes poker game at the Aria and running Ivy's room and all that, and so he wanted involvement in that. So it ended up being a really really cool thing.
Yeah, you guys played quite high during so many years in Aria.
Mm-hmm.
The regular game, your regular game was like 612 almost, or 1,500?
No. It started out at 1,200, but it was 2,400 for about a year or two, and then it went to 3,600, then it went to 3,612, and then for 1 year, it was a $200,000 buy-in, 500, 1K, 1,500, and I'm like, Chief, what's the deal? Because I kind of noticed that every time my bankroll was bigger, the game was way bigger. And I'm like, Chief, I almost feel like this game is according to the size of my bankroll. He's like, Robert, it's about demand. You know, when we got a lot of demand out there, we might be playing 100, 200 if the demand's small. Right now, the demand's incredible. We got to keep the numbers with the demand. And, you know, looking back, I do think Bobby was trying to make sure there was good access to my bank. There was never a situation where I sat on the table and Bobby Baldwin didn't have me covered. Yeah. He definitely had the best of me in a lot of the big pots. But yeah, I did learn a lot from him, and man, we had a nice run. I think we ran at the Aria like 11 years. You know, when I went to Aria, the poker room was completely dead.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was the president of the hotel. It wasn't Bobby Baldwin. It was a guy named Bill Macbeth that he saw potential in me to do the marketing and everything. And I had never been an ambassador for a room or anything. He actually made the job up for me. And he's like, look, we got this beautiful poker room. It's dead. Let's get it going, you know, and got to social media or whatnot. And, you know, a couple of years later, all of a sudden, the Aria is now outrunning Venetian to be the best poker room in Las Vegas, which means probably the best room in the country, maybe the world. Yeah, Aria poker room is pretty solid. I mean, it was back then for sure.
You guys played big pots. What was the biggest pot you played at that time? Cash game.
In my lifetime, I played 4 $3 million plus pots. 3.2, 3. Never $4 million, but 3.2 million, 3.4, and I won 1 out of the 4. 2 of them were against Bobby Baldwin. 1 was against, I think it was Richard Young, and 1 was against Chairman. Yeah, I lost 3 of the 4.
Who is
yeah.
Chairman?
Chairman was the legend from Hong Kong that you've never heard of this guy?
Yeah, I've heard, but I'm not sure.
He's a legend. My biggest poker win ever was in a game with the Chairman.
How much did you win?
It was I bought in for 100,000. I cashed out 5.8
million.
Yeah. It was like 3 days later. This is 10 years ago, and I was being staked, and but that was like when I was pumped up. That was a nice run.
The game last 3 days.
I bought my condo cash. All that. Yeah. It was,
you did? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are the stories. What year was that?
Oh man, that was
long time ago. 15 years, 10 years.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I would remember. I was playing sometimes 5-10 there, and I would remember you sitting with maybe a couple guys, 3 guys, maybe starting the game four-handed with some guys. Like they were reading the newspaper. They were very old. I could remember that. I was like, damn, that must be a really nice game. Like I was looking at that. But those guys play 6-12. I was seeing the blinds and I was like, how is it possible to play big blind 1,200, right? It's like I'm playing $5-10. So it's like 100 times higher. So I'm like, it's probably not gonna happen for me.
And
now it happens. But
of course.
Yeah. Next thing you know is like I end up in Bahamas 2-3 years ago, playing Rob's game in Atlantis, and next thing you know, I'm just realizing that now there is straddle $4K, and we are playing 1 round of PLO and 1 round of No Limit, and I have like, I don't know Omar, right? And I have like those 4 cards in front of me, and I'm like thinking, okay, the big blind is $4,000. I have 120K in front of me. I have just 30 big blind. And I have 9988. That seems to me a super good end, right? So I say pot. So now it's like, I don't know how much I raise, right? I have to look at the dealer and say pot. And she say how much I raise, right? And I put what she say because I don't know what is exactly pot. I know it's not that big, but it's still something, right? So she say me something, maybe 15, right? Should be like 15K. 15K, so I put 15K. And now Rob say pot. So is it like 50K or something? Something like that. If I raise 15K, how much is
maybe 45? I don't know.
45?
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking, my hand is 9988. What should I do? I don't know. I don't know if I should call, go all in, fold. So I fold. And yeah, those are the moments. I'm like thinking, how is it possible? No, you were not there.
It sounds like you played it fine.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's fine.
Why not?
Yeah,
sure,
why not?
9988. If
I was like
with
thinking
9, 8, 10, 8, 9, 10 jack for sure you want to play, but the 2 pairs in your hand, you're up against a bigger pair for sure.
Yeah, but I don't know what are the odds to make a set. So I'm like thinking maybe I should call and try to make a set or something. And basically, yeah, those are the time where I'm playing some huge stakes sometimes and being in situations.
With you're always, you're one of the few people that when you're playing tournament, when you're playing cash, it's all you. You have 100% of yourself.
Yeah.
For me, I've always been staked, sold pieces, whatever. It's very rare when I'm fully on my own in the game, and that's why it's interesting. Like right now, I mean, I promise you, 85% of the world thinks I've got 1.5 million fresh money burning a hole in my pocket. Can't wait. But people, after you pay makeup back, after you pay this, that, whatever, it's like you're first of all, extremely ecstatic to win a huge number. Actually, at the end of the day, it's still 700 for me. You win 1.4, 700 for each, right?
That's something we can explain, that sometimes there is people who pay who help the player to enter in the game.
Investors, stackers,
We call it staking.
Because I didn't know that before.
Yeah. A lot of people aren't aware of the staking. I swear,
they think everybody is playing 100% their own money and everything. Usually it's not the case. Like very few people play their own money that fully in high roller scene or in high cash games, just because there is so much risk of losing, right? And
the variance is insane.
So basically, people buy pieces of you and get obviously rewarded by the same amount of piece of your win, or just they also lose if you don't perform, right? So there is even market for that online where you can sell on platforms and people buy from you on platforms, and then there is private investing. Like there is people who are just very wealthy and like to have like horses, let's say, and send the horses to the. You are the horse, but a real horse. He was called JRB.
Oh, I did.
And
I did.
That's a sad situation.
I kind of won it in a poker game. I had a horse. One of my friends was playing, and he's in the horse business, and he says, JRB, I just bought a lovely horse. Is it okay if I name him after you? And I'm like, absolutely, yeah, name JRB. And so he named the horse JRB, and then I won a big pot from him. I'm like, you know what? If we're gonna name the horse JRB, I gotta have a little,
piece.
Stacking on the horse. I want a little bit of the game. So I ended up buying 25% of them at the table right there, and we had a nice run. I mean, the horse won. I think it had 8 races and won 5 of them.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun. But it came to a tragic ending. My wife actually was at the Breeders' Cup when JRB the horse passed away on the track right after crossing the finish line.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So that happened. Wow, that's almost a year ago now. Yeah, horse racing, man. That was a fun run. Don't think I'll ever be involved in horse racing again, but that was a lot of fun.
How is Dubai? Karaoke sometimes.
Karaoke, right? Actually, Dubai is extra lovely right now. The weather is just perfection.
I love it.
Yeah,
Dubai in winter is something.
Yeah, I mean, I'd only really experienced very, very hot Dubai, like in the summertime, and I mean, December is just it's
gorgeous.
In the evening, you're just walking outside. The weather's just completely perfect. You can go swimming, whatever.
Can't wait to have the Wynn opening. The Wynn opening in Dubai will be in Ras Al Khaimah, actually. It's another state of the UAE. It's part of the same country, but it's just another state. And basically, it's going to open in March 2027 on paper. It's going to have a poker room, and it's going to be, in my opinion, the highest stakes publicly or privately played in the world.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be first casino
in the country.
Middle East, or
but this is more or less Middle East in a certain way
sure.
already. But yeah, in the UAE, the first country, in the first, and
in that part of the world. No, it can't be first in the Middle East.
But this is considered Middle East. Merit. Yeah.
This is. I remember because I talked to somebody last night who said he flew here from Israel 1 hour. He said this is the closest casino to Israel.
It's a 1 hour flight from Israel.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's say that it will be the first in that part of the world for sure, in that specific part. Also, we know that the brand is quite big. It's already probably one of the best, if not the best, casino in hotel in Vegas. And it's already one of the best in Macau too.
The Wynn does everything right. They're going to have the best restaurants, the best service. It's going to be amazing.
They announced Delilah.
Very, very lucky. Oh, they announced Delilah.
Delilah in Wynn Ras Al Khaimah and Ducasse, Alain Ducasse.
Alain Ducasse, nice.
Yeah, they announced those two. There will be plenty of nice projects next to it. There is Nikki Beach. There is Nobu Hotel and Residence.
Inside the Wynn?
No, in
right
those islands, Al Marjan Island.
Okay.
They announced a Lamborghini residence, so Lamborghini has a residence.
Nice.
Ellington, Hilton, the address. There is the address. Very few houses. It's mainly high rises, but I managed to get one house. I found someone that resell.
Yeah,
But,
are you renting it right now? I know. I
It's,
remember you told me you
I got
bought a
the
place
keys.
a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I got the keys now in November, and I just need to furnish it, and then I'm gonna rent it for the Wynn. When the Wynn is ready, my
Perfect.
house will be ready for poker players, let's say, because I think poker players prefer houses. So I'm quite proposing something for them, I guess, to come and grind. But yeah, let's see how it goes. But I really think it's gonna be the best cash games, best tournaments in the world. I also think people like Triton, WSOP, WPT will maybe want to have their circuit there, probably. Their series, Onyx, who knows, Rob, which is doing great thing for Ice Tex Poker. Actually, running so I don't play PLO, but running a PLO series, high roller, I guess no one does this except Rob with Onyx. 10K buy-in minimum.
Whatever they're doing is fantastic.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
like
we're jamming this week, and the high stakes cash games. I mean, there were 4 games running last night.
Yeah.
And just with waiting lists. I mean, I mean, they do a great job. The brand is solid. Yeah, looking forward to being with them as they expand. But
what's one of the funniest story you have in poker? You have so many. It's very difficult. If I ask you directly this question, it's like very difficult for you to have something coming in mind. But like, if something come in mind at a poker table, what's very funny? What's
like, come on, man.
Come on, you did everything.
Question. There's so many cool stories. You come up with the Phil Ivey naked. I mean, it's like how
have you ever witnessed a fight at a poker table? Because
fight.
I did a fight.
Like real fight?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
So I was in a 5-5 in Red Rock Casino in Las Vegas 12 years ago, playing a 5-5. The guy next to me was drunk as fuck, like it happens all the time in Vegas, and keep hitting on me because I have a huge accent when I speak English, and keep saying that I don't know how to speak English, right? And I don't say nothing. I just shut my mouth because I'm just a young kid and I just don't want to get beaten at the exit. Hey, Patrik the legend.
What's happening?
Oh, you just come right on time for my fight story. I witnessed a fight at the poker table. Have a seat, Patrik. Clarice will.
Timing is everything.
What's up, Patrik?
Timing is everything.
Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you, brother.
All right.
You're gonna get mic'd up. They're gonna mic
you
you
mic'd
up.
Yeah, you can take this one.
So I'm at a 5-5 game 12 years ago in a Red Rock Casino in Las Vegas. I'm playing and the guy next to me, totally drunk, keep hitting on me by saying that my accent, I don't know how to speak English, and I have like a French accent. I just like shoot.
That's not exactly hitting on you.
No,
hitting on you
no, but he
is
say
when
like
you're trying to talk to a girl.
at some point he say I should
He's
return to my.
annoying you. He's like he's.
No, he said I should return to my country and I should not be here. And he said that, and the guy on my left defend me.
Right.
And just say, have you seen your look and your stupid hat? Because that guy has a hat, whatever. Like just. He say, have you seen your look and your stupid hat? He say, what you want? I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to him. And the guy, you're just miserable. And they both go like, so I'm sitting here and they're both like this. So the guy who hit on me is here, and it's not hit on me. It's like more like when you want to be with that girl. Yeah. How you say that in English?
Yeah, the guy is picking
on me.
Picking on
He's not
There
hitting
we
on
go.
me.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Big difference.
That's
Big
what you
difference.
think.
Big
Okay.
difference. Yes.
Yeah, he's picking on me. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, they both go on their feet, and bro, that happened. The guy on my left, take him like this, and
Headbutt him.
yep,
Wow.
that guy fell. But when he fell, he hit the table.
Yeah, right.
All the chips now fall, and table fall. So basically everything fall because the guy take the table with him when he fall to not fall on the floor. He take the table. Table fall, chips fall on the floor, The guy on my left go on that guy on the floor and punch him very hard. Punch him very hard.
Wow.
There is blood.
And you're just traumatized.
Me, I'm 24 years old, 23. I'm like this with my $400 in front of me. I'm seeing that scene and there is blood spilling, bro. Like literally there is fucking blood.
Right.
And I'm like, are we in a casino in Las Vegas for real? Like, I played so many years when I start my poker career, I was in Sardinia, playing in like back room of bars. And it was never ever like this. Never ever had an issue with anyone almost. Like, it's just like super chill. And I was in back room with people who, like, honestly, they were not like all good people, right? And I was playing live cash game, no problem. And now I'm in a casino in Las Vegas, probably my first year or second year that I come to Las Vegas. And I see that, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? How is it even possible? Police came, asked me if I want to deposit, make a deposition and everything. And yeah, basically that happened. So that guy regret probably his comments, but and the other guy was a bit too extreme. But yeah, that happens. Patrik, happy to have you here. You are in you came in to play a cash game for your brand, Flop, and so it's gonna be streamed on tomorrow actually.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Yep, I'm gonna play it, and it's a big cash game. It's gonna be a 50k buy-in or something.
Yeah, 50k min, 200, 400 blinds, 1k big blind ante, make it a little bit looser. But yeah.
Nice.
It depends what standard you look, but yeah, in general, yeah, obviously a high stakes poker game, but expect a fun game like usually these stream games, you know.
Yeah, we had a fun game yesterday, your ViraL's game. You end up winning little, and you next day had the final table of the main event of Onyx to play. You start chip leader, and I think things didn't went your way that day. Well, you finished fifth.
Yeah, I finished fifth. It's poker. I mean, things went really well.
Yeah.
For the first few levels, and I think I had like 40% of the chips when it was 7 left.
Fuck.
I had 20 million chips.
Fuck.
And then I pretty much lost 3 big hands and finished fifth. One hand I have a little bit maybe regret. Made a bad call on the river. I could have played it another way also. Basically, I checked the flop behind. My opponent bet, who was chip lead on a turn, and I raised him on a turn with top pair, and he called with the straight draw and the flush draw, and he hit the straight on the river. It was 3 clubs, and then he bet the river and made a bad call there, but I could have played it another way, betting the flop and turn, and I would have probably won it. But yeah, it cost me, but it's poker, these decisions. Otherwise, no regrets.
I hadn't seen Patrik for a few months, and normally when somebody wants to tell you a poker hand, they want to tell you about something. And I caught Patrik right. I guess he was chip leader of the tournament, and now he was playing a cash game, and somehow just got somebody to fold a set of aces when he had aces up, and he was just feeling on top of the world.
I mean, you saw the hand. What happened? That I think this hand that we played on the stream the night before the final table, probably the luckiest hand I can remember, because I flopped aces and threes on the rainbow ace 3-5 board against 3 aces.
This is
and how I can possibly win this hand?
Yeah.
When I was even shallow in stacks, and suddenly it just came that 2 players called the flop my raise and came a 7 rainbow board completely. And
well, what it feels like to me is that
and turn I bet half a pot and comes a 6 on the river, and since he had 3 aces, he ended up folding the river for my. We talk about this hand already, like a bet that's.
It was like a value bet.
It's goofy. Sometimes you get called with worse, and most of the time you get called by better. But he ended up folding pretty big hand, like quite fast. But it's a tough one. I mean, once he has the 3 aces and.
Did you turn into a bluff your 2 pair?
No,
I did not.
He was making a thin value betting, and the guy read him for true strength.
That's in my cash game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I bet 1/3 of the pot on the river, and you know, there's some scenarios where I have complete bluff there when I just because it was a stand-up game also, and I'm heads up. I'm
So,
heads
and he
up,
fold
it's-
top set.
He folded
Yes,
the top
this is
set.
insane.
So
Who's it?
It wasn't you, that's for sure.
it was Mehdi who didn't
Oh, Mehdi.
he didn't have a
Oh,
good
Mehdi
day.
got bluffed all the
He-
time.
He had
He got bluffed by Rob. What a hand! Did you see the hand?
you know what this
7 deuce.
this hand
Rob
with
say you can pick a card. Mehdi pick the 7 of heart, and there is a flush possible if you have like 2 hearts. And Mehdi is like fuck because he thinks about the 7 deuce game, right? Mehdi has top pair.
Right, all right.
And Rob literally get away with it because that strategy of saying you can pick up a card and maybe picking up the 7 of earth, Rob think if he picks the 7 of earth, he's gonna think I have a flush. And exactly what Mehdi thought. And Mehdi fold against the 100k bet or something. And,
what
and
is
it
the
was wrong.
What is the poker movie where this exact scenario happened? Because I forgot, it's a long time ago. But you
Maverick?
Where Ace is up, it lost,
There was a poker movie when this exact scenario happened that I think the guy had, I don't know if he had deuce 7 or whatever,
Oh,
and the opponent bet on the river and he raised all in or whatever, and then he said, I don't know, he was complaining what you can have and here you can pick one, and it was the board was, let's just say, I don't remember the board, but let's just say it was deuce 7, 10, 10 and something, and he had deuce 7 and picked one of them, which is the pair, and then in the movie then the opponent said, oh okay, of course you have full house and folds.
Right.
Exactly the same scenario. I never thought that this would happen in real life.
I have no idea what
especially happen on the stream. Like this should make like news. This hand, like credits to Rob that he realizes the situation, that this is the situation. he can
so
let the
smart.
opponent to choose one of them, and no matter what he chooses, it's like a card that
That's
makes
awesome.
you think that you're gonna fold. Incredible hand that it happened live, like this kind of a setup movie hand, basically. You know.
I mean, it's set
I
up.
know.
We were talking about the whole thing of me even playing the high roller and then winning it. The complete movie. Dude, there's zero chance I'm ever going to play a high roller. It's just because his play was delayed. Hey, Robert, I need to put a fish in there to keep these guys happy while I'm on. I'm all right, cool. Let's go. And then I mean, who would ever dream that I would win that thing?
Next thing you know, Robert won 1.5 million in
Oh
a
my goodness.
MTT
This is
against
insane.
the top pros.
It's insane.
I was
That's
actually
insane.
surprised to see you play. I was like, wow.
I was joking
But
with
JRB
Johan.
crushing.
I was joking with Johan. I got 100 congratulations texts and 65 ERC20 addresses. Yeah.
Robert!
Yep.
Patrik, you played a lot of big pots in your career. You play cash game mainly, but nowadays, and I would say since many years, I see you in all the Triton events. So you are like still very competitive in all form of poker. Obviously, you play mixed game in Bobby's room forever, which is the biggest mixed game, the biggest cash game in the world. Let's say. It's a combination of 10, 15 different poker games. Poker.
Yeah,
the
mix is very, but in general, it's like a standard mix of I think 11 games.
11 games.
And then we have like a big bet mix also existing, and sometimes there's a hybrid between the big bet. Nowadays, it's like a hybrid that's big bet mix with limit games, and the cap is much bigger. We play like 100 bigs to 150 bigs cap in those games, and we only have 40 big blind cap on the big bet games in our standard mix. But
for people who don't understand
but
what means 40 big blind
I have to
cap,
correct you. It's like it's most likely the biggest cash game existing that is not private nowadays.
That's what I wanted to say. The public
it's not so
cash
big,
game,
but
like
it's not so
anybody
big, but
can play.
Anyone can play, and
He said it's not so big.
I mean,
Not so
What-
big.
what's the 40 big blind cap?
Not so big, but $200,000 swings every day, but not so big. But it's honestly, it is not so big compared to a lot of the games.
mean,
that we
Explain
play.
to the no
I
limit
mean,
Texas
nowadays
guy.
there's some crazy big private games.
Yes,
obviously,
for
like
sure,
people
for
losing
sure.
millions every day. But yeah, it's
What's for a Texas guy like me, like a no limit guy? What's the 40 big blind cap? How much you can lose in one hand? How does that work?
I mean, if you play the standard let's just say summer is usually runs 3k, 6k
Okay.
are standard. So it's 60k is cap what you can lose max in one.
So in one hand, you can lose maximum 60k.
60k, yeah. And I
And
would say the standard swing in that game is, if you take all the players what they win and lose, I think averagely you're gonna lose or win 100 a day. This is like a
okay,
to
so
me
it's
it's
like
maybe,
it's
but
like
there's
a
some
200,
players,
400 no limit game.
I
Yeah.
would think it's a little bit bigger than that,
But
but for sure, if you win or lose 40,000, you consider that breaking even. That's not a result.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean there's big swings and some guys play much looser and wider and they swing a lot.
Who are your toughest opponents in that game? I guess Albert.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well,
Albert Daher.
Matt Aston from UK has probably the biggest winner in the last few years,
Wow.
last 3 years, and he's pretty tough to play against. He's always, never tilting, takes his time. He's always
Never tilting. That's huge.
he's quite solid.
And then what
But
about
then-
like Scott Seaver and David Oppenheimer? Are they still relevant at the top of the
They're-
game?
They're good players, but I see our game in this way that every one of us can play, and sometimes you just don't play your best for various reasons. If I don't know what's going on in your life and you have bad days, and everyone has bad days when we play really bad and things don't go your way, and you know how it is when you just get unlucky in many hands and suddenly you just make bad decisions basically. And it's poker, and mixed games has one of the things that the variance is so damn big in limit games and these kind of small cap games that I can see that anyone can in our game run 2-3 years really hot and win a lot, even if you overall might be even losing player. The swings, it's very hard to tell who are really who have the most value in the game. So it's a big gambling game in this game, and I think people in general they think much more highly of our game. That if you can ask from the players who really play the game, what's really happening. Like there's a lot of steaming, there's lots of up and down days with players, performances, and
Speaking of,
it's like I would say that to me it's a little bit like same as also like you look at some high roller tournaments and you look at the list of players and wow, only tough names 50, but then you go to play and you actually see left and right bad plays all the time. Like it's not like, I don't think we play so great to be honest. Like I just don't see it. Like there's very few players who just really play like optimal poker and make really good decisions all the time. I think it's like, it's a lot misunderstood overall of our skills and so on.
you mean
but-
compared to other type of sport or competition, like to
I mean, we are good, but people think of much highly that, oh, these guys are so fucking good that we cannot beat them, we cannot win them,
Yeah.
they always
Yeah.
gonna make right decisions.
yeah,
This is an illusion.
this is an illusion.
It's a complete illusion, but one thing you need to do well in poker is that you just have to have enough confidence on yourself. If you don't have any confidence on yourself and you think that everyone is so much better than you are, then you're not gonna win, because then you're gonna
bluff when you need to bluff.
Yeah, you're just not.
You're not gonna hero call when you need to
you're
hero
gonna-
call.
Then you're gonna make.
So
Yeah.
cool for me to hear him
Then
say
you're
that.
gonna.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna make wrong decisions because you're gonna feel too much pressure or so on. But we have many times games where 3 amateur players losing players, like they're just business owners playing the game, and it's really.
Pretty sweet.
Many times we have amazing games. So.
Yeah.
But there's some days when there's 5 very good players and 1 weaker player playing. But overall, the game is not so tough. It's a little illusion what we have created, but it's a bit seasonal also. That
What's the maximum you
No.
lose? Not especially in this game, but in a cash game, in one session.
I have a good memory, but Online, I can say my biggest loss in one day was a little over 2 million back in the days. But this is like recorded. It was against Isildur.
Yeah.
And also I won 3 million 2 days before against him in one day, and then
Was
I
it
lost 2
Kilo
million.
heads up?
2 days later I win. Or next day or 2 days later I lose 2 million.
Was it Omaha?
It was mix of Hold'em and Omaha, or it was only Omaha.
What were the blinds?
Because we played, I started with Isildur then that we played only Hold'em, and then we played mix Hold'em and Omaha, and I somehow ended up playing so tight in Hold'em against him that he started to just like lose his patience and tilt, and then he wanted to play more Omaha against me, which was my better game than against him. And in Omaha I ran good and I played much better then against Isildur, but
Did you end up in
that
profit?
was the story then. But he was quite wild, and he ended up even, I think he was even playing 4 tables with me heads up, which was very big disadvantage for me. Like I was never able to play 4 tables in decent level. Like I was playing because I had so much gamble and I tried, but for example the dirt challenge, I realized that I'm such a field player that I go with certain time tells and betting sizes and the game flow, and the 4 tables just throws me off because I'm not like a computer that plays like this. I've never been, and 2 I can handle very well, but
How much did you end up betting Isildur for?
I cannot remember the full amount, but I would just guess, because I won 3 in one day and lost 2 in one day, and then I had other winning days.
Millions.
Not millions, but maybe between if I just say safe, maybe between let's just say be really safe, like between 1 million and 2.5, somewhere there between. My memory is a little bit, it's so old that.
Just against Isildur, and then he quit you. He had to quit.
Well, what happened is eventually he ended up playing against Hastings, who beat him for like 4 million something, and busted him, and I was watching the session.
He was broke. He couldn't play anymore.
And that was the famous story when they apparently shared a lot of hand histories and studied the game against Isildur. It was Brian Townsend and Hastings, and who was the last guy?
I don't remember.
It was 3 players that they all played, and then they shared, because you can have your own hand histories.
And you can have the ones from your friends.
They shared them and studied against Isildur, and then Hastings
beat him. Analyze the game.
This was kind of an unfair match or battle in this way, like
because they had data that they are not supposed to share to each other.
They studied the data.
They studied the hands of
but
I tell you what, though, there's something. While you brought up that story, this is a little bit before your time, but right around the time when he was playing Isildur heads up, there were times I remember going online, and Isildur would be on 7 tables. He'd be playing 1 or 2 tables with Patrik, 2 tables with Ivy. Do you remember 7? He was 7 tabling against the best in the world, and you're just watching. And you know, I'm a player back then, but I'm just like, what in the world? And he's crushing at times. He's just crushing the entire group. He's like one table with Gus Hansen.
He played sometimes when he played with me 4. He was playing 2 with Ivy or Durr. And I was just like, how the hell this guy does it?
You think he's a 21-year-old doing this? What in the world? What in the world? And here I am. I'm like idolizing. I can't believe this guy, right? And then that summer, I'm in London, and I'm going to a nightclub, and here comes Isildur. The guy was so excited to meet me. He comes, gives me a big hug. He wants to hang out in the club.
Here I
am thinking, man, what an honor it is for me to meet you. And he's like, it was like the day of his life. I was like, well, this is gonna be a great friendship.
He's a great guy.
He's such a nice guy.
By the way, when I won the bracelet a month ago, he's in semi-final with me at the table, and I think I'm the one busting him or something. And basically, that guy is like, for me, when I was a kid, one of the legends of the game, obviously Patrik too, and I was following a bit those things, even if I couldn't understand them as I understand them now. But yeah, for Victor Blom is from '89.
Victor, super nice guy, and hands down one of the most talented players ever played the game. I watched few sessions when he played online when I was in his place in London back in the days. And I have to say, I have watched a lot of good players a little bit when they play behind, because I've been friends with so many players.
Yeah.
And only 2 players have impressed me, and it's Isildur and Ivy. But I've seen them play. No one else has impressed me, really. Okay, I haven't watched so many players, but these 2 stand up with their talent on another level. But that was back in the days, and game evolves, life changes, and I think Isildur, you know, he was always just an extreme talent online, but live poker is a different skill, and I think there he has a lot of weaknesses with. It's just a different thing, you know. Live is.
Yeah, those were fun days, man. That was legendary. You know, are you playing online at all right now?
I play sometimes when I can. I mean, online has changed a lot, and I really love to play poker. And there was a long time there was nothing for me online, and now there's like a private club for mixed games. Really small, but I like to. Mixed game is my favorite cash game format. It's fun. I love mixed games too. It's fun. It's relaxing. To be honest, I kind of get bored if I had to play just no limit or PLO, like a long session. Like it's just too repetitive, and mixed game is just, you know,
I love
game change, and it's just fun.
I actually asked your guys.
It's relaxing.
Yeah, I asked them if they're going to do mixed games, and that's on the board.
It's a perfect timing to tell you that you can use code ViraL if you want to deposit and get up to $2,000, 150% of your deposit up to $2,000. Code ViraL.
Nice.
But I highly recommend for any poker player to at least to just try mixed games to see what it is. You know, we have different kind of poker.
You know, I tried.
It's really.
I tried one game. I tried the No Limit Juice to 7. I went
the
to
greatest
play.
game ever, by the way.
Yeah, I went to play the World Series.
No Limit Juice 7 is
single draw.
It's the single best poker game that there is.
I went to play the 1500 World Series of Poker. No Limit Juice to 7 single draw. I never played that game. They teach me the rule at the table.
Good game for you.
I loved it.
It's a great game.
I want to play every year now, and this tournament, because they teach me at the table, but it's quite simple. It's like you have to bluff or not bluff. You have to make the best hand between Juice and 7 without they cannot follow, the card cannot follow each other. And basically you change one time cards, and it reminds me from, you know, when I was a kid, I had the chance to play with my grandparents, not Texas Hold'em, poker with 5 cards. 5 cards
stud,
draw.
Stud.
It's called stud, in America.
Draw, 5-card draw?
Yeah, you can change up to 4 cards.
Okay, so it's draw.
And then basically you bet before the change and after the change, right? And that's it. I loved it.
It's a very good game, but I had to think about it if you can call it the best game, because there's only 2 streets of action. So, but it's a great game. It's a great game because you can play the player so much. You can bluff it. You can go all in. There's a lot of these
bluff catching.
So this is great. But
it's everything poker. I just love the game.
But also it's amazing how much I like stud as a game because no solvers, kind of, as far as I know, with stud every card counts, and it's kind of a interesting game. You have to remember a lot of cards out and put them to the different starting hands.
That's funny. So stud's your
favorite. And you know, I just like a lot of different types of poker games.
Yeah.
If anything, I don't like so much is this.
The classic No Limit.
No, like split bet games.
Some split
bet games where is very little bluffing.
Yeah, you can't bluff.
Then there's obviously the skill factor is a little bit less. You just have to play the hands in a kind of more of a standard way, and I think the more bluffing there's in a game, the more skill it becomes in general. But
I started my my game started
at
8 p.m.
We're gonna wish you a good game tonight, because it was very fun yesterday when I saw. We're gonna see you. I'm gonna see you in the room. I have a game after.
Super.
Thank you, JRB. My man. JRB, freshly.
All right, yeah.
Freshly.
One of the most loved poker player in the world. So
yes. We're gonna have Idris, your partner. in First Round of Poker. He's coming right now. I know Idris now for 10 years, right? Have a seat. He's gonna give you your microphone. Idris, welcome. Welcome to the game. To Radio ViraL. Idris is your partner. You guys created some very nice app called Flop. And it's basically, talk to me about it.
Yeah, so Idris is my co-founder, and it's only us who started our project. And well, if I can talk about Idris, he's the brain behind the product, behind the engineering, and solving with his team with all the things that we have so as problems in our how live poker industry works, what players need, what poker rooms need, and yeah, it's been a very long way so far, and we've been looking into a lot of things, trying things, and I believe finally we have like a very complete product, and future looks interesting for us. And yeah, what I can say, I let Idris more explain about the product functionalities and so on, but basically,
go for it. Yeah.
But basically live poker, with how cash games in live poker rooms operate, what players have to go through, and nothing really has changed in the last who knows for how long, and it's pretty, I would say, annoying process for players, especially for recreational players, for players, you know, who don't play in the most busiest poker rooms like Las Vegas, where there's games every day and so on, to go through the process of getting to the right games. Everyone likes to play, and I believe our solution is fantastic for both for the poker rooms, for the operational parts, to give the best offer for the players, and for the players to have the most luxurious thing to find the best game in the easiest way, that you don't have to waste too much time and have bad experiences. And we will see if we can change basically the way poker rooms will operate, and everything is getting more digitalized in other industries. And
yeah,
I think
for taxis was a revolution.
I personally see that it's inevitable that the change will come.
Yeah.
And we will see if we are ready. Still, it's all around the world. The poker rooms have a little bit different ways to operate. But from the player's point of view, like, we really deserve a better, higher standards as a service.
Yep.
Yeah, it's. I think Patrik he covered the overall project, but before that, like, I would like just to point something very important, that before it's been our own business, it's that's why, like Patrik he described it, we've been working on it quite a lot, and identifying like all the problems that live poker is facing. And the first problem is, especially if we go for mid stakes, also high stake in certain area, is to have a game, like in life. Sometimes you need just to drive for long kilometers, and then suddenly you arrive to the poker room and there is no game. You are waiting there and you are just wasting time. And yeah, the poker world didn't see any change those days. What comes to technology and digitizing the live poker, which means that if I would like to get access to the games, poker is a game of skill. So when you sit down at the table, you need to be relaxed, you need to be focused. But if you start like wasting time in all this hassling, calling, asking, finding, you arrive, you are already probably you're losing your focus, you're tired, you're rushing to get to the game. So everything impact your the way how you gonna start this game potentially. That's the first point. So that's why, like, we've been analyzing a couple problems. So first of all, from the poker room side, what would be the best way to automate what their operations, instead of just like managing the poker room manually. And second of all is how we can increase players' liquidity to have games running all the time. But all the time it's sometimes a bit challenging in certain area. For example, in some cities which are like the population is not like very very high, or sometimes into certain places where private games they are dominating the official regulated environment. So we come up with very simple idea that it exists like in USA, but it's still like not very technologically advanced. So it's a mobile app for the players where they can find in real-time games, which this app actually working under algorithm that works as a digital host. So the app will suggest to you the game that suits you, like at certain moment, at certain time, into certain casinos that they are partner with us using our web platform. But before that is like our vision is to provide, first of all, the players with a safe environment where they will play. All these kind of features or whatever we will provide, they are of course helping to save time, they are helping, but the most important thing that we are looking to partner with poker rooms that they value the player's experience, they value the player's time, and of course we empower them with a solution that's gonna give them the possibilities to provide this service for the players. But you can find also certain situations where some players they want to play live, they don't have the knowledge where to play, they don't know if there is a game or not, so they're gonna play possibly in some unregulated site, etc., or they're gonna play in certain games that are not for them, especially for recreational players. So they kind of there is a risk where they can end up into certain environment which is very bad for them, and it's gonna kind of create a bad experience for them and high chance that they will not come back. So so the idea in the long run is to have this digital host that's gonna work into ethical way. It's not inciting people to play, but really to be advising players where to play. First of all, we do the work with who will partner. That's the first part from our side. That's of course like Patrik, he's been here like for years, and he is our brand ambassador, my co-founder, and he's been always like himself being as an image of ethical game. Competitiveness also there is, but at the same time there is very important point of view that the poker ecosystem is different from a region, from a market to another.
Mm-hmm.
There is some regulated markets, there is unregulated market, there is play money apps, but all of them they provide the same offer, which is poker. But ideally for those, especially that we are focusing on regulated market, that's the first point of view. Second of all, those who has also the will and the vision to change and disrupt the way how they are operating right now, and before that, of course, to provide the best experience for the players. So that's exactly, I think, it starts from digitizing this process to get to the game.
Mm-hmm.
It starts from our own communication and how we can educate the market, the players, about the risks that you can face if you play in certain environment. And now with the technology getting very advanced, especially through AI, we have the timing is perfect. Why? Because all of us, I think it's the whole community need to think into this side, is how we can use the new technology to provide the best environment for the players, first of all, in terms of safety, integrity, easy access to the games, and the last point is how we can grow this community. And the poker, because in other countries it's not seen as a skill game. You know, it still have this gambling
Image.
characteristics and image. But at the end, also for recreational, it's seen as an entertainment. It's very social game. It's like you play in certain countries. I don't know, Rami or Bolot in France, for instance. You know, it creates certain connection between people, and this environment needs to have you know, the minimum risks at certain point, because you're not inciting people to go to lose a lot, especially recreational, because these are who makes the game at the end. So yeah, that's all. That's the global vision about it. But in terms of technology, as I said, it's you can think about it. First hand of poker, it's first of all a solution provider, but at the same time a laboratory where we are analyzing every single situation, every single pain point that both operators and players they are facing. And I hope that we will succeed to provide this safe environment, digitized environment for both communities, connecting the operators and the players into the easiest way. And yeah, we're working on it.
Cool. Sounds good.
So if we success, I think we're gonna make a good impact on poker industry in general as a whole. More players will play because they will have much better experiences, much easier way to practice their hobby. I mean, but basically for everyone, I mean, poker is a fun game, entertainment. You play it as a pro or recreational or so on, but I know personally a lot of players who kind of stop playing or don't play because they don't want to go this annoying process of getting into the games. It's sometimes finding a game and they go and there's no game, or it's an annoying process for them to get to the games, and they just don't want to waste time, and if it should be done that in a way that you really have a game to play if you're really going to the casino and you have a direct connection to. And also nowadays we have a lot of private games, like we all know, and this is where you have the most bad experiences with.
Speaking about
everyone in general would prefer to play in the casino in a safe environment.
Me too.
You don't have to worry about ever getting paid, and you don't have to really worry about getting cheated. So these two things are really.
Let's speak about that a bit, Patrik, because you and me probably had similar experiences in poker, where we both got cheated a number of times that is quite insane. The concept of high stakes poker, like every industry where there is a lot of money involved, is if there is a lot of money to be win, there is also a lot of ways that people will explore to win that money, and not especially the classic way, which is trying to play good poker. So nowadays they use technology, they use so many things, and you and me spoke a few times about it and have the same opinion on that. And probably dreaming, Jean-Robert is calling me probably to tell me that he has a seat for me. Wait, I want to. Buddy, you are live on the podcast. I put you on speaker.
Also because the sound system is overrun by the bass because it's
JRB,
JRB,
you are live on my podcast.
Basically, like when you walk into Aria Casino,
it's a pocket call.
That's what pocket call. Yeah, exactly.
He called me from his pocket.
Pocket call.
So what I want to say is they will try just to cheat you. So there is so many ways nowadays and I want to make a little tutorial for people to avoid getting cheated, or at least trying to understand when they are getting cheated. So what we could do is just say what are the methods that the cheaters use, and just say how we can spot them. If you agree with it,
this is very important subject to know the risks. and it's obviously this is the dark side that is really hurting our industry
Yeah.
when there is people who are having bad intentions and trying to have, you know, cheat you or scam you in other ways, even not necessarily cheat you, but when you enter private games to not pay you, for example, and all these things. But obviously, yeah, once the technology is now has reached a certain point, there's multiple ways to cheat. I'm not any type of specialist, but I have spoken to a lot of trustworthy people who are, and like you, and I mean, all I can say, you can explain maybe more about the technology, or we can together, but I would so highly recommend people to, if you play private games, that play only with people that you know and you trust. That's
Even-
like a one thing.
Yeah, but even if
And nowadays
It's not enough.
it's
and
not
now-
enough.
And
People
nowadays,
change, right?
People change,
I mean, nowadays,
based on how much they have on their bank account, especially
Yeah.
when they run low money and stuff, they
Yeah.
can change.
Yeah.
but the danger nowadays, I heard that
Yeah.
you know, you can have a person who runs the game that you trust and players who you trust, but someone who just comes to play the game, he can come and cheat.
Without him being
Yeah.
part of the organization.
Yes, and this is really big risk, and there's these hidden cameras that you can put on your, I don't know, ring or cell phone or anything that subject is on a level of the table, and the AI will tell you every card and tell who has winning hands, and you have some mic in your ear that no one will able to
Yeah, first of all, they can
get-
catch under the deck.
get. Yeah, so-
When the dealer pitch the cards stay in the air for a few seconds, right? For like a fraction of a second. When the cards stay in the air, it's in the air. If anything is on the table, like my phone is there, and my phone is equipped with a micro camera that you can't see, then my phone or my device, my ring, my watch, can spot under the deck and is linked to an AI in another room, in another place in the world. And that AI just has a poker table mapped, and seat 1 as ace king, seat 2 as king 3. You can know basically all the cards of all the seats. So basically the person that has access to this computer is telling the guy in the ear without you being able to hear anything, because he has a micro chip to hear inside the ear without, and then he can remove it using like some kind of device like this, right? So basically he knows he's playing against you, he knows your card. Just by him being in the game, sitting on the table, being one player, and having any type of device, it can be even a watch put on the table, where basically, it happened to me, the guy had a Rolex the whole time on the table. The Rolex didn't move. The Rolex can stay 10 hours exactly in the same position, because that was the best position for him to catch, right, under the deck, right? But me, I can't notice initially. I will notice after some point playing with the guy, because obviously when I have a hand that is impossible to call his bet, it's always happening that he put me to the test, right? At that moment, and not when I have the nuts, and not when I have a good hand, and it's repeating till the moment where I'm like, this is almost impossible. And thanks God we play sometimes a squid game where you have to show when you win, right? You have to show to win the squid stand-up game. You have to show your hand. This is one of the mini games that we play in nowadays in ice techs. So let's say the guy don't bet me all in on a flop that is 8-7-6. So after I raise and he defend, he would don't bet me all in 2 times the pot on 8-7-6, and he will have king jack. So it's like nothing, right? And me, I would have king queen. So it's exactly the hand that is better than his, but I can't call. And he knows my hand, obviously, because no one do this. You can think, oh, okay, the guy is a fish, he's doing all in with king jack. He's a okay, but when it's 10 hours like this, and it keep repeating, and the thing, you understand that, and the Rolex is there, and the chips, when he receives the chips, he win the pot. The Rolex doesn't move, but the chips are placed like this. At some point, maybe you want to put it back. You want to put back your watch.
Yeah.
You want to do something right with it, right? But
in
when you
hard
don't
stuff,
do,
we
there
have
is
them.
obviously correlation between what you see in the game, in the showdown, or in the non-showdown, the things, the device that are on the table, the seat that the guy is. Also, seat 1 is very easy because when dealer pitch on the left, you can sit better.
But imagine if a good player decides to cheat,
Then
you will never catch them
Exactly.
because they know what they're doing
And they can be legit and
but-
credible.
Yeah, but looks like it seems like that everyone who cheats, they're quite dumb the way they do it. What I've seen, but those are the ones who get caught, so they are not smart about it. But like you explained, so what is the solution is nowadays that no device is on the same layer as the table.
But I would say better than that.
And the dealer should be dealing
that's-
cards on the size.
So there
on
is a
the-
way
on
to
the-
deal
on
now
the-
that you deal like this and the cards
Yeah.
never go to the air. It's
Yeah.
the pitching that
Yeah.
Onyx use, Merit use,
Yeah.
and that's a great.
And then
pitch.
dynamic shuffle is obviously prevents if there's a deck that is
Already prepared.
equipped with the
Yeah,
technology.
RFID.
That so then that mixes that.
So let's
and,
explain that quickly. So basically, what can happen is people can know the outcome of a hand. So that's that's actually quite crazy, but because when you finish shuffling the deck and you're gonna deal the flop, all the cards will stay the same, right? Because you deal the flop, you burn the first one, and you deal 3 cards. Then you deal the turn, you burn the first one, you deal. So the deck stayed the same, never moved. So there is all this time that can be used for cheater to get the information or how the cards are placed. So how to know? Because there is a chip inside the card.
As far as I know, I think this program only will tell who will have the winning hand.
Yeah.
I think.
No.
It won't tell
But
you what anyone
that's
has.
what I'm saying.
But yeah,
because the deck, once it's finished to be mixed, the order of the card is known. Okay, is known from the moment where a data is known, like the order of the card. Someone that has a technological equipment, if the card has this RFID chip inside, and sometimes the card nowadays can look normal cards, okay? But they can have a RFID chip and inside, and you don't know that. And they can open the cards in front of you, they can open a new deck in front of you, it doesn't matter because it's where the card has been built, right? Where the cards have been bought.
Yeah.
If you buy online some cards, they can be RFID cards and no one will know. And they are not thick like the RFID cards of back in the days, they are like normal cards. So if there is a chip inside the card, we know what is ace of hearts.
Yeah.
Well, we know what is 5 of club. So all the order, if it stays the same in the deck, can be known from a software outside. And again, it's the same technique. The software communicates to the player that is in the team for the
Or
thing.
they can even tell you what people have.
Yeah.
In this case.
Yeah, in both.
Because
yeah.
I was in the understanding that this software will only tell
Winning seat.
who has the winning hand
Yeah.
at the end. I'm not
No,
like
not only.
like I said, I'm not so familiar, but
Not only.
I got once. I'm about 99% convinced that I got cheated in this way, and how you can tell it. I played one guy heads up for quite a long time, and then what did he do? We got it all in pre-flop that he never does, and he had a horrific hand. He just wanted to whatever 4-bet me all in and then run it one time because he would know that he wins the hand as a run out. So this is a one way to spot it, that what people do is that they just gamble all in pre because they know who's going to win the hand and run it one time.
Once,
2 times you don't know, but obviously if there's RFID you should be able to.
I'm pretty sure
program
today they have
should
software to
know.
see even for run it twice. I think today if the deck stay the same, the same software could also spot the double run out. But obviously it's more rare that the guy will win on the 2 run outs, right? But I'm pretty sure the software could be able to spot if you're gonna win on run it twice or run it once. Like that, someone that run it twice sometimes will not be even suspicious if he use that software. So what you do to prevent this is you ask dealer to dynamic shuffle. So it means it's a reshuffle between each street. So between before the flop, after the flop, from the flop to the turn, little shuffle. and from the turn to the river, because like that, it's again mixed, and there is no time to be in communication. What changed between the cards? Like what's the order of the card change, and the turn becomes a surprise for the cheater. The flop becomes a surprise for the cheater, and the river becomes a surprise for the cheater. Like that, the cheater can't predict if he's gonna win the hand or not, because those are the most dangerous. Because if they know from the pre-flop that they are, let's say, 7-9 suited, will win the hand, and that's what happened. They start playing 7-9 suited in a way where a professional poker player could play 7-9 suited the same way, and you can't know, but he will get there somehow with a gut shot, with open-ended, and you can't even know because he knows, but you can't know. Yeah. So basically, dynamic shuffle and dealing like this should be the two things that in all poker world should be applied in every casino, and obviously I'm very happy to be with you guys to speak about that, because it's such an important subject that people don't address enough. Yeah. And I think your software somehow and your connection with the casinos probably will help also to maybe force casinos to be dealing the way Merit is dealing, the way Onyx is dealing, the way dynamic shuffle works, right?
Well, I think
I personally
tell me.
Personally, I think that it's quite rare or difficult to get cheated in the
casino.
In a casino, in a poker room. They have so much security. They have cameras. They follow everything. And if you get cheated, I think they get caught and they will be able to even get your money back.
It can happen though. There is stories where it happened, where shuffle machine was used by some device of a player that basically the shuffle machine knows the order of the card also, the same way, the identity, and the player managed to pirate that by just putting a USB in another moment, not when everybody is there, or you just need to put a USB for 1 second on the shuffle machine. There is a USB port that you can access. There is also a way where they pirate the Wi-Fi of the casino, because when you pirate the Wi-Fi, the shuffle machine is on that Wi-Fi. So from that moment, you can from distance get the information of the shuffle machine. So if the shuffle machine give you the same information as the RFID, which is the order of the cards, because the shuffle machine were created like that to protect the player by people who cheat by using one card, keeping one card in their pocket. Or in their, how you say that in English? When you keep one card in your sleeve. The old school way of those magicians was to keep one card. You keep one ace, they keep one ace, and they use it later. Okay? So what shuffle machine does is prevent that by always knowing that there is 52 cards in the machine. So by always knowing the identity of each card. So when you know identity of each card, okay, you prevent someone to keep one ace on the sleeve, but you allow someone else to use technology to hack you on this, even worse than, like, the guy who keep one ace on the sleeve is more easy to play against than the guy that fucking know the outcome of the hand.
Let me ask you a question. How, even if they get an access to the shuffling machine, the dealer takes the deck
and
puts it in the middle and then cuts. So what now? The deck has been cut. What they do now?
So I think
they can still know now after cut.
No, no. In this case, no. Yeah, so in this case, no. But that cut was not made all the time in all the places.
Okay.
Yeah, and there is also the barcode thing. The barcode thing is they're gonna put your deck on a certain place, and that place read as a QR code that is invisible on the card. Read the whole order of the cards, so it's the same. And if there is no dynamic shuffle, the order will say the same. So the people knows the. And same, the barcode you don't see it physically, neither on the cards, neither on the table. It's under the table. It's a specific place, and this is one of the way they use in private game to cheat. Casinos, like you said, 95, 99% safe. Private games outside of casinos, don't know the odds. I don't know the odds, but the odds are pretty high. To get cheated.
I think now you kind of you described. You summarize
cheating
let's
methods.
Say cheating using certain devices, certain technologies, whatever it's there for live poker.
Now online.
But there is two environments where cheating degree and cheating sophistications is completely like disparate. So the online part and the live poker part. For the online part, I think like you guys of course know that, like there is the common way cheating in online part, like using bots or using what we call those stables going to play for a collusion.
Yeah.
And there is even, more sophisticated tools like the Aria, tool that able to read from the software that you are playing every single card dealt, or then for the collusion part, of course, there is calling and saying, okay, I have this card or whatever. Well, good players, they are able to spot those kind of cheating ways. I think for regulated market, the regulated side, they are doing the effort to prevent those kind of cheating. But we should always think, like, when technology is involved, there is a lot of leaks in technology, especially, of course, just to summarize it at certain point, how those sites run. So there is servers where those sites they are running, and those servers they're using backends that gonna generate certain features, certain actions, etc. So at certain point, if you know and you have access to those, you can kind of manipulate them through certain systems, like for example the X-ray. There is the bots. It's one of the funniest subject, because you can have three different
Type of bots.
Three different type of bots. Bots, what is it? It's just like a robot, for example, that's working under an AI system, and
play GTO.
Yeah, there is actually bots that they play very loose to kind of incentivize the player to come to say, okay, this is a really soft
bots
soft
that
game.
are programmed like fish.
Yeah.
So they are programmed to play in a way like a fish. So it's a fake fish. It's a bot. And then you have two other bots that one play like a top pro and
top
one
pro.
play like a
and other bots they play like a collusion way also.
They share the six cards.
Six cards.
So they know the 6 cards, and based on that they basically GTO solved everything, but based on their cards and not 2 cards, based on 6 cards. So blockers become different.
You have more parameters, so you are more optimal into your decision.
I'm pretty sure nowadays online on those clubs, on many clubs, they could be like things like you have like 4 or 5 boats, you have 2 fish, 2 boat fish, and 2 boats that play better. And basically you are the only human. And you just go because you play, because you see 2 fish, you play, but you are the only liquidity, basically. You are the only one actually paying at the end, because they play on credit.
But
everybody play on credit. The host is telling you, oh, there is a great game, we have like 2 huge fish. You come, you have 2 boats that play like fish, in fact, but you have 2 other boats that fuck you from the back. And even the fish, basically, they get lucky. Lucky. You think they get lucky, but they know 8 cards. So basically, they make a stupid decision on the flop that looks stupid to you. But if they know they have like more outs or less, more outs because they know the 8
because
cards.
Sometimes it's very surprising. You can detect it, especially from games like PLO5 cards, which is
in this game it's even worse because they know so many cards.
They know so many cards, and it's
one blocker is enough.
Blockers matters.
If you have an ace of diamond and it's 3 diamond, right? It's like
so. And the things, sometimes when you see the game, you think, wow, this is a really good game, and then you just once you enter, you start playing. Suddenly, the 2 fishes bots get out, and then you start like playing only with the best one, or sometimes they say all of them. Like for the online part, I think if you would like just to know about it, there is so many videos in YouTube, like listing, especially in the play money apps now. Which is, I think it's not really safe environment. For sure, it's not safe environment. It's not fun. It's not.
Some of them can be probably.
Very rare. When you are,
there is a danger.
Yeah, there is a danger. So the most important thing is when you are putting yourself into a game, let's say for example for live or for online, you need to know who is behind, and before to know that you put in your money in, you need to start asking around and having as much as feedback from people.
from trustable people.
Trustable people, and
Yeah.
especially smart people, because you know there is some people who badmouth certain sites or casinos, etc. But you need like to listen to the people experience, and then you make your own assumption. And again, if you find out that there is even 1% risk, it's even better to do not play, because sometimes you will be in certain setup, it's gonna put your mind into a certain situation that you start doubting into the game integrity, and so on. But talking about live poker, what you have described it from reading the card RFID. It's much more advanced than this. There is right now like a lot of solutions happening. So tables normally, basically in live, in private games. So tables they have certain readers down, and these readers they can be connected to program into the phone. So many times and I don't know, I saw it in one game, I won't say like where, etc., but I saw it, and I had the proof from multiple people. I had some certain doubts that these programs, they are like, for example, the hand they are dealt, you can see one guy, once everyone gets the cards, he take his phone, like pretending he's typing or something like that. So it's kind of saying to them that there is this card like dealt to this player, etc. There is another one, which is sometimes you can check in YouTube. There is videos listing. Most of the time they are coming from certain providers in China. But anyway, the thing is, they can even the phone can vibrate, and just if you're not looking, you can open up and tell you, as Patrik he said, like who is the hand that's gonna win.
Seats, yeah.
Yeah. And then there is lenses.
Classic
Classic lenses. You spotted that, okay, this is very obvious. He's putting his watch and in the same position. The lenses can look like, that's a normal one.
Yeah, you have lenses. I have lenses in my life. So
yeah, you have lenses.
You can have lenses, but lenses that see the back of the card.
Exactly.
So basically the cards are marked, but you can't see those cards except if you, you can't see those marks except if you have those lenses and no one else. So it's not even like, oh, you get the same lenses as this guy and you can see. No. It's like one pair of lenses for this type of mark.
Exactly.
So basically, you are the only one. And even let's say there is another cheater on the table. Maybe he has lenses, but you can't see them.
Yeah.
Like imagine even at that point. So basically, it's written ace like this on the back of the card, but only him can see of earth. So again, better to put your cards one on each other. At least if there is a cheater on the table, he knows only one card. It's better than two. And always check. What I do is I always check the card that is up. Like that, when I have a doubt on someone at the table. Like that, I have a doubt. Like that, I know. I always consider that he could know my up card.
Yeah.
And that's how paranoiac I became.
Okay.
Okay, buddy.
I really recommend to not play.
Oh,
he
knows the 7 of earth,
like that,
but he doesn't know that I have a fucking king behind. Good luck, bro. No, but that's how it became.
Can you imagine the level of thing that you should do? Because at the end, poker is really tough game. You should focus. You should take good decision, and then you need also at the same time to observe what's happening and controlling the way how you're taking your cards, etc.
By the way, for cheaters that think that I don't know them or something, I always communicate with certain people of my entourage that are like very keeping secret, but I communicate your names, guys, like that. It can be known one day if anything happens. So it's very good for me to keep track on that, and I have my little list. And it's something I hate, and one of my dreams is to play with all of them on the same table for 1 week, and they can't cheat. Like it's gonna be fun, right? Let's play street poker. Let's see what you do when I'm gonna go all in on the.
But there is one thing is that
my dream is one day to see them all hanging on the public place.
Yeah, but they are forced to play poker in the right way with their money, bro, that they stole from players. Like they are forced. Let's play poker. Let's play real poker. Let's play integrated poker.
I think the ways or of cheating
Yeah.
change depending on the volume of the game.
Yeah.
So if it's like important money in the place, things get more sophisticated than this. Like for smaller money, I don't know, like in private games, sometimes when you have two dealers, and I saw it by myself, what's happening, like when there is a dealer change, there is most of the time happening when there is a dealer change, there is one dealer staying on the back with a deck. Sometimes, like most of the time, they have two different colors from the deck. And you have the host come in and he start arguing with someone at the table. They turn the intention, do you want drink, do you want chocolate? And once you turn your head, something happening very fast. And
Oh yeah, those are like old school magicians.
Old school magicians,
Yeah.
and especially what you described. Most of the time when these things happen, etc., the guy that goes all in, who is involved in this cheating, they want to do it once. They don't want to run it twice because, of course, they know that they're gonna win the first board. And but how to prevent this? I think there is some people who can prevent that, who has especially good players. But if we talk about recreationals, who never doesn't even know that what is a bot or what is a dynamic shuffle, like if they do dynamic shuffle or not, or what is RFID. I know like a lot of people we're talking
they
around
don't
the table.
RFID
they say, what is
technology,
RFID? Like what is so? I think one thing here that the poker community, because there is a lot of story happening around the world. There is a lot of things shared into 2+2, for example, forum, where people they are exposing cheating sites, cheating casinos, or cheating private games or whatever. But it's not listed, not well organized, and not that much verified. So like one of the idea that I was thinking about is to have one site managed by multiple legit players from all over the world that have high reputation, adding to this like also a kind of collective of players, where you would, like everyone who has like any think that he has a cheating scandal, he can come and complain about it to this collective, describe what's happening, and these players would advise like if it's real cheating, if it's happening, but if it's really verified cheating, and also this like how many people are complaining about things. It's just normal life. You get someone, I don't know, is stealing from someone. If there is 100 people, so there is evidence, you know, that this is really true. So and to expose this situation into more organized way, more verified way, and for everyone who would like to go to play somewhere, he would see, like, okay, for example, the TripAdvisor, something like that. You can see, you have a rating about restaurant, about like hotels, whatever. But nowadays, you would tell me, there is
about players, about especially high stakes community is small enough to be able to prove it. It's actually a very wide subject. I'm very glad we did it. We just ran out of time for the team too, because it's very late for the team here, and it was actually super nice that I didn't even expect that we will go that deep in that subject, but I'm really happy that we did. I'm really happy to have both of you coming to my podcast today. Thank you, Patrik.
Thank you for
Idris.
Us,
Thank you guys, and for the viewers, subscribe to the channel. More podcasts to come, and thumbs up. And we're gonna do more podcasts in English this year. Thanks to CoinPoker, and obviously to my let's say the fact that I want to be part of the poker world a bit more now, because I was a bit absent last 3 years, let's say, because I kind of retired from the game, but I also still play every 2 months. So I can now, with the new thing with CoinPoker, I kind of want to be again more present on social media, again more present for the poker community, and again playing nice games, fun games. So let's make poker great again.
Yeah.
See you.